I'm Carol Rascoe, and honored to serve as the president of Reading is Fundamental. And I'm a Kappa mom, and I'm very proud of that as well. Um, but above all today, I want to say how thrilled I am to have you here with me, because you represent Kappa Kappa Gamma, with whom we have had a relationship for 10 years, and you've been very, very helpful and dedicated. Start with, have any of you had an experience when you've done something RIF related, your Kappa's Key event, or if you've gone to a school to read with the child, that really you felt like, I really did something good there? And what happened and what made you feel that way?
I'll
Okay.
start. Well, I think that I'm a sophomore, so last year was my first year in Kappa, and I actually was the philanthropy chair the second semester of my freshman year. So I was in charge of running our signature event, I guess you would call it. It's called Reading is Key. So what we do is we go to a school in DC, and we bring books to give to the kids, and then do arts and crafts projects with them. So I think that you guys would probably agree with me that I feel like that's one of the moments where you realize that we're actually doing something, because you talk to the kids, you interact with them, you give them the books, and they're just so happy to have someone spend time with them.
But for you to, a college person to take time to come to their school, because we really try to steer our work and guide you all to go into schools that are in poverty, because we know that that is the single greatest indicator, unfortunately, for children who are going to be at failure to read. And so somebody paying attention, because after all, we know from studies, 2/3 of those children do not have a book in the home that is theirs or a children's book. And 2/3 of them probably never heard a bedtime story, either because their parents couldn't read or their parents were too busy.
Our events are so successful because we have so many girls who come and so many kids who come that you really get one-on-one time with each kid. And I know one girl who I spent our entire time with, I gave her the book at the end, and she was so incredibly thankful. And unfortunately, she asked for another one, and unfortunately, we don't have those resources to give every child to. But she said, I'm definitely going to come back next year so I can get another book, and I'm excited to read this, and I hope, I think my dad will read it to me. How exciting is that? And that's really touching when a child realizes how special it is, and they're so thankful just to get a book, which seems very little to me, but obviously meant a lot to them.
Other college students on our campus get involved. Every fall we have our Kappa kickball event, and the fraternities come out and they play kickball with us, and they raise money for Reading is Fundamental. And I think that that's a really great event, because you have brothers coming up to you asking, what is Reading is Fundamental? So you kind of get to plug it in a little and tell them what it is. And sometimes people decide that they want to go tutoring DC because of it. Sometimes they want to make a donation because of it. So I think that that's also touching too, because it's raising the awareness on campus of what we do too.
Visiting Kappa chapters, what did you find in that maybe made it a real impression on you as far as RIF?
I think, several things, but we do the Reading is Key event here, and that's tailored to our city and our community. And I think the events, whether they be big or small, they all have a common link, and that's providing books and spending time with the young children. And that's the most important part, is to be able to give them something that, they don't get that every day, and we really take it for granted. And I think we can benefit just as much from it, and realizing how great an impact just a little bit of time and a skill that we also take for granted, because history books and English books to us are boring to read, but to read a Magic School Bus or an Amelia Bedelia, that just opens up so much for them, and has their imagination, and the sparks fly, and they can really see somebody and pick out a hero in a book and strive to be that person, and we have enabled them to do that. So giving them the access is the most important.
Owning their own book, children are more motivated to read. They're going to read more often, which means they read more. And at those earliest stages, reading a lot is what makes it fluent. So easy to say to people, $2.50 a book to a child. Of course, our single largest funder is Macy's, and they raised over $3.9 million through their customers this past summer. And for people to go buy the coupon for $3, and then you can use it on a purchase of $50 or more and get $10 off. I mean, and you can stack those coupons, and I've seen people in stores do that. Thank you very much for all that you're doing and for uniting with REF to be Book People United.